she said. Hey now. That's what she said. Hey now.
All right, I'll just do that the whole show. It should have been Skrillex or one of the Daft Punk guys who probably look a lot like me with their helmets off. That's why they wear them. Welcome into the drive. Kyle Madson's over there wearing a Chicago White Sox hat because, why not?
It's a good hat.
That's a thing that I'll never understand, and God bless you for it. It's that's like my version of baseball's unwritten rules. I can't wear gear. There are very specific rules I have for wearing gear of another team. If you have a family member, you went to school with the person, it is like a Mickey Mantle Yankees jersey, like a throwback,
right.
which I think is probably the closest to what you do. You wear like Reds hats or Sox hats or stuff like that, which I guess you could probably say is an homage to the classic.
Can I stand in front of myself?
No, please.
I do have rules.
Mm-hmm.
So I won't wear, like I have a couple of different baseball hats are my go-to for different teams. I have a Titans hat.
Well,
Titanswire.com.
Yeah,
right. I acquired that hat for no money. It was given to me. So NFL hats, I won't really wear anything other than a Niner hat. I have a couple of different NBA hats. I have a Bucks hat and I have a Timberwolves hat, but I won't wear them during the NBA season.
Okay.
And then with baseball, I will not wear. So I have teams I won't wear an AL West hat. I have no AL West hats, even though the Angels have like 2 of my 10 favorite hats of all time. But I won't wear one of those. No Yankees. No Red Sox. No St. Louis Cardinals.
So you wear hats, but not of your rivals.
Yeah, and just teams I just in general just don't like.
I mean, what they'll say online is, you pay for it, you wear it. Who cares who's making these rules? It's like,
there's not there. I'm making it up.
Sure. It's like when I get in, every once in a while, if I call somebody, if I see on somebody's bio, and they're like, Kings, Warriors, Lakers. I'm like, oh my God, really? Yeah, you're gross. And every once in a while I get the argument back. It's actually a fun debate with them. I do enjoy this debate because there's merit to it, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. They're like, yeah, I'm a bandwagon fan. I root for teams that win. I don't want to root for a team that loses. I'm paying the money. It's my time that I'm spending. I'd rather spend my time that I don't have rooting for a team that's going to make me happy than every year like your dumbass being a sheep and rooting for the Kings.
And when your new favorite team loses, like you're not emotionally attached to it, so you don't care.
Yeah, exactly. And although that makes me want to vomit,
sure.
It doesn't matter how far I am on the other side of the debate. If there's an argument, if I see merit to it, if there's a logic to it, I have to at least respect the guy's logic there. He's like, hey, you don't pay me. The team doesn't pay me. I have X amount of discretionary dollars and time that I can spend.
Yeah.
I get it. Now, he's never going to have the joy, if and when the Kings ever win a championship. Right. I will cry real man tears, and it will be other than, ooh, wow. I just had to stop myself. Wouldn't be as good as the day my children were born. That's number one right there. Number one. No, it's truly number one. It's a tie for number one. Watching my wife poop my children out was one of the greatest moments of two greatest moments of my life, other than me being born, but I don't remember that. But where I stopped was, would the Kings winning a championship be the third greatest moment of my life? I have 2 kids. Would it be better than when I got married? And I think the answer is yes.
I would say,
I think it's yes.
If I'm in your position, I say no.
Why?
I put getting married just ahead of the Kings winning a championship because you don't have to live with the Kings winning a championship.
I mean, kinda.
You don't have to like be in the same room.
I spend more time with Kings fans and talking about the Kings probably than I do my wife on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. The Kings and talking about them is a far better income than my wife.
Sure.
Well, yeah, no, it's true. I make more than she does. It's better. Yeah, I think I've known the Kings longer. I have.
Point.
I've known the Kings since I was 8 years old. I've known my wife for 13 years, 12 years.
There are no mothers of your children on the Kings that we're aware of.
True, but sometimes that's a downer. That's a bad thing. I'll explain why.
Sure.
We'll do this with 3 minutes left because this is a light and airy subject. I explained it a little bit to you before the show. Everybody goes through this. They do. We have 2 rescue dogs. We have a little Chihuahua, Nacho, and we have a Beagle, Maggie. In fact, our mutual friend Jody Bacon got us our Beagle because she was abandoned by a neighbor of Jody's, and she, of course, dropped Maggie off with us. And Maggie's been with us about 6-7 years now.
Did she do it? Did she do it the Jody Bacon way, where she didn't really tell you what was going on?
She wanted to bring a dog over to play with the kids,
right? And then just left it there.
Exactly.
Gosh, she's just the best, man.
Yeah. If the dog was a guy, it would make more sense because you'd just be leaving random guys all over the place for the rest of us to clean up after.
Unnecessary and rude.
Well, I'm
getting this read in before we. It's time to call Sierra Pacific to get up to $1,600 off a new Lennox furnace. Keep your home cozy and warm this winter. 800-551-3040 or SierraPacificHome.com.
So, of course, I love Jody. She's my sister from another mister. She leaves me this dog. We love her. We may have to put her down soon. And she's got beagle issues. We've taken her to the vet. But I think the real issue is that my wife and I are the ones that are going to be heartbroken. My son does not like any of our animals. He doesn't want anything to do with them at all. And my daughter, she's the one that spends all the time with the dogs. But she wants a new dog. And she knows that we have a max of 2 dogs. So my daughter's being a savage right now. She's like, well, no, I love Maggie, but if something happens to Maggie, can we get this dog? So I think it's going to be my wife and I that are going to have the issue. My son's not going to care. And my daughter, all she's going to think about is new dog, which I guess is better than the other way around if my wife and I didn't really care and it was the kids that had the issue.
Yeah, because like, sorry, kids.
Just when do you make the call? I don't know. I don't know when to do that.
Yeah, it's
the dog's in pain.
That's such a right, and that I mean, we have a minute left here.
Sure.
That's such a heavy thing, but I mean, it's not as easy as just going, oh, okay, yeah. Like it has this issue where it's not in pain and it's not life threatening, but it's an accumulation of issues.
Right.
Like
quality of life.
Yeah. It's just super not easy to be like, yeah, let's just call like.
It's not.
That's a traumatic thing.
I don't want to be selfish and be like, well, she's not like whining.
Right.
But there is that thing where it's like dog in some pain, but dog eating and dog warm and dog happy versus dead dog. Like that's what it comes down to. I am going to call Jody. Jody, it's only right that I call Jody and get it. Since Jody was the originator of this. Oh, well. I'll keep you posted on that, but poor puppy. He likes the belly scratches. This just in. Big show today. Scott Bear, speaking of animals, the bear from NBC Sports California is going to join us at 8:05. We'll have our regular Raiders conversation. Grant Napier is going to double up with us tomorrow. We'll have Grant tomorrow morning from Cleveland along with Sam Amick doing his regular 8:05 appearance. Today, it's all about the Kings, man. It's nice to be on that side of a blowout, isn't it? Sacramento Kings, Phoenix Suns. We'll talk about that. Markelle Fultz and Kyle, we'll go to break with this. You almost got the pronunciation right. Markelle Fultz, you were so close. He was diagnosed with leukothoracic outlet syndrome. It's Thoracich, like Doncic. I wanted to get that
He's
in
not
there.
on the Kings,
Yeah,
Dave.
see, there you go. Wanted to get in there for the first break, just for our Twitter friends out there. Thoracich. Luka Thoracich syndrome. We'll talk about that. And then another great subject. The Skins consider Colin Kaepernick, apparently. And Jay Gruden broke that down. So Luka Doncic, Colin Kaepernick. We'll get into some politics later. My dog, and maybe if we have time, the Kings.
John Kerry said he might run in 2020. Your thoughts?
Well, he better wear comfortable shoes. All right, we're just going to anger everybody today because that's the thing. It's Troll Wednesday on the Drive. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Jaeger indicating the play set he wants from Bogdanovich. Rhythmic dribble, now drives it right. He goes high window and scores the basket with 1.5 seconds left. The Kings lead 36-9. Mikal Bridges from midcourt as the buzzer sounds to end one of the most dramatic quarters we've seen from the Sacramento Kings in quite some time. Phoenix fans disgruntled, unhappy, a lot of boos. Well, when you score 9 points in just 12 minutes and you turn them all over 7 times in the early minutes, that's why they are not happy campers.
A lot of Suns fans disgruntled. Is anyone ever gruntled?
Sun-told?
Yeah, thank you. Good job. G-Man also mentioned a lot of booze. I've been there before with a bad team. A lot of booze. You need it.
Plenty of booze, yes.
Some notes from the Kings. Kyle's Cold Hard Facts coming up at 8:35, so just to check here, do we have Kings stats in there at all?
Let me check.
Want to make sure.
No.
Okay.
No, a lot of on this date, though.
Okay, I
Lot
know
of
one thing
relevant
on
on
this
this
date.
date.
I know one thing that's big on this date that happened. Involve a football player?
No, but
Okay.
that was one of the ones I saw.
The Sacramento era low for an opponent's points in a quarter was 7. That was the second quarter versus Denver on February 16th of 2001. It's the fewest points, 9. That's 9, the number, not no in German. The fewest points the Kings have allowed. 9 in a first quarter since at least 1954. The previous low was 10.
Jeez.
The Rochester Royals allowed against the Philadelphia Warriors, bandwagon Kyle, on February 17th, 1955.
It's okay. Love it when my Kings do well.
Also, the 27-point lead they had after the first, the most lopsided first quarter in franchise history, at least since 54-55. Second largest for any quarter. They had a plus 29 fourth quarter. The Cincinnati Royals in New York against the Knicks back in 1964. Needless to say, it really was the most dominant quarter Kings fans have seen in Sacramento history. Even when they held Denver to 7, they didn't have that big of a lead. Didn't stay there. The final score was closer than the game showed, 122-105.
Coasted the final 12 minutes.
38-22. The Suns outscored them in the fourth.
Yeah.
The Suns scored 9 points in the first and 38 in the fourth. That'll just give you an idea. But this was a wire-to-wire. Honestly, I don't know if the Suns were ever up 2-0. I don't think they were. But a wire-to-wire, effectively, victory, blowout for the Kings. And that's something to start a road trip. That's exactly what you want.
Well, and that's what we talked about yesterday was we wanted them to go into this game, not let Phoenix hang around, and just go put it on a bad team without their best player. And they did that in the biggest possible way.
I love when I see national writers go on Twitter and be like, is this a typo? What is going on here? And screenshotting the box score. The Kings, it's been a long time since we've been on that end of a score. More on that coming up at 6:30, 7 a.m., and 7:35. Number 2.
Here's Markelle knocking it away. Now Fultz on the run out. Fultz into the lane, goes up for a jam, and it dunks the ball. Markelle Fultz slams it with authority. And the crowd is buzzing and really applauding Sixers guard Markelle Fultz.
I'm rooting for him. I don't care. I'm rooting for Markelle Fultz in every way. He's expected to miss 3 to 6 weeks to undergo rehab on his right shoulder. He was diagnosed with thoracic outlet syndrome. You don't know what that means?
Thoracich.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luka Thoracich syndrome. What does that mean? It means he has trouble raising his arms over his head, basically. Movement of the shoulder. It's a big deal when you're a guard and you try to shoot basketballs.
Yep.
Just a nightmare start for this kid, but he's only 20 years old.
Yeah, and this is something that I imagine they'll keep him out towards the longer end of that 3 to 6 weeks. as he tries to get kind of his range of motion back and hopefully gets his shot back.
He's 20. He's 20 years old. Take your time with the kid. I don't want to see the NBA robbed of a superstar, possible star like they were with Derrick Rose.
Did you see my trade proposal involving him yesterday?
I did see it. Who says no?
Yeah.
And then the guy says everybody.
But then someone after that said, no, it's a good trade.
Want to shout out the text line because we got to move on here real quick. From the 916, Kyle had it right. It's thoracic, like thoracic spine, not thoracic. Thank you. Thank you. I thought it was thoracic. Moving on.
First and 15. Play action. Sanchez being chased. Fires. And is it intercepted? It is! It's picked off by Nathan Gary.
We're not going to spend any real time on this other than a note here, maybe a note at 6:45. But it was interesting that the Redskins, and most importantly, Jay Gruden, the coach of the Redskins, actually went into a little bit of detail on whether or not they were going to look at Colin Kaepernick as a replacement. Jay Gruden kind of broke it down, talked about it, said if it was towards the beginning of the year, it would be a huge possibility, but blah, 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 doesn't fit the system. We'll get into more of that, but with the lawsuit going on and everything happening, again, not trying to get in the politics of it, just that is a big story, especially in Washington, D.C., which if any team could sign Colin Kaepernick, if I could pick it, it would be Washington, just because of the locale and just how much crap it would spew and how much fun we would have with it. Doesn't look like it's going to happen, but rare that you get a coach actually going into detail as to why it won't happen.
Instead, they're going to sign a guy who was cut twice by team's quarterback by Colin Kaepernick. But,
because Colin's not good enough, Kyle. Kings Suns next. We've got all your highlights, your Peckus Brothers moment of the game, and so much more. More history for you. And I'm going to play some audio history that you're not going to like at all, but it kind of puts this win in perspective. On the Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Sacramento Kings opened their road trip with a blowout victory over the Suns. They won the first quarter 36-9 on their way to a 122-105 victory over the Suns. Sacramento's off tonight and tomorrow. They'll be back in action Friday in Cleveland against the Cavaliers. We finally have some answers on 76ers guard Markelle Fultz. His agent and the 76ers announced yesterday that the 2017 number 1 overall pick will miss 3 to 6 weeks with thoracic outlet syndrome, a shoulder ailment.
Why are you laughing?
Because.
Okay.
Thoracic outlet syndrome, a shoulder ailment that affects nerves near the neck and shoulder and limits range of motion. Like I said, he will miss 3 to 6 weeks.
To be clear, you're not laughing at Markelle Fultz being hurt.
No.
You're laughing
at a dumb bit about thoracic outlet syndrome.
Thoracic. Luka Thoracic.
It's 6:32. I have it right. Peak Financial wants to talk retirement. Dial pound 250 and say the word money. Those are your top stories. Back to the Drive on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Here we go. The Drive continues now.
To Justin Jackson, to Cauley Stein, now to Buddy Hield, back to Jackson on the left wing for 3. He's got the triples. Justin Jackson's been very productive in the last 4 games off the bench for Sacramento, and that makes the score now 40-9.
It was a huge first quarter, and that was into the second quarter for the Sacramento Kings. Now, I know there are a lot of Kings fans out there that are younger than 40, 35 years old. In fact, dare I say half, if not more, of our listeners. I'm going to take you back just so we can understand how great last night was.
There are Kings fans from ages like 36 to 9.
Thank you. Well done, Kyle. Look right into the camera there. I'm going to take you back 31 years, Kyle. I'm going to take you back to 1987.
That's before I was born, Dave.
The Great Western Forum, and I'm going to play you the last minute. Might be the only time I actually voluntarily do this. I'm going to play you the last minute of the Los Angeles Lakers broadcast. Want to remind you, Scott Bair will join us on the Firewings hotline at 8:05. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it. And again, there are some old head Kings fans who know exactly where I'm going with this clip.
1 for Green and Scott. Free throw by Rambis, good. His first point. And it's 40-4. 16 seconds left. See if they can get off the goat horns and get a hoop. They're nothing for 18 from the floor. Nothing for 18.
They're holding it up for the last shot.
6. Eves comes in deep. Give the ball to Oberding. He's there, ran with the ball, traveling. They will not get away from the 4 mark. They have equaled the all-time NBA low for a quarter. And it's the lowest ever in a first quarter. Green's three-pointer, no. The quarter's over. The score, ladies and gentlemen. Fans are brutal, aren't they? They want more. The Lakers 40, Sacramento 4. Yes, the door's been closed a long time.
Well, they're just looking to get off the goat horns.
What is that? It just goes to show you how terrible Laker broadcasts are, even back in 1987. And then they pan to the crowd, and everybody's got feathered hair. Feathered hair.
It's my favorite part of old NBA clips.
Crimped.
A lot of sweaters, a lot of khakis, and a lot of feathered hair.
A lot of feathered hair. Probably coat pockets filled with Merit and Vantage cigarettes. Topol.
Oh, I thought their pockets are filled with something.
Probably, too. L.A. in 1987. Yeah, 40-4, dude. Now, the only thing that would have made last night better would be is if the Kings had done that against the Lakers down at Staples Center. That would be a great Kings moment. And I found myself thinking, and this is what I call KTSD, King's Traumatic Stress Disorder, that even though the Kings were up like 97 at one point, I still, every time the Suns would score more than 4 in a row, the back of my head, I'm like, oh, God, here we go. Here we go.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
That's not a Kings thing with you. Although, I mean, maybe it is.
Uh-huh.
But that's never going to go away. Because I still do that.
You still do that with the Warriors?
Yes.
3 of 4 championships.
Yes.
And you still do that.
And they can be up 25, and a team goes on an 8-0 run. I'm like, oh, my God, it's 17. Like, they're 2 possessions away from making this. It just doesn't go away.
I acknowledge that.
When your team stinks for a long time, like, that's just within you forever.
I certainly acknowledge that, but I would say the difference is, like, oh, my God, they might come back and lose this game. We really don't need our 3rd loss of the year. It's freaking February. Or what we Kings fans have to deal with.
No, different levels of it. But
sure.
I'm just letting you know, when the Kings are perennial playoff contenders, they're going to be up 25, and a team's going to go on like a 5, 6, 7-0 run, and you're going to be sitting there going, oh, my
God.
Yeah. And De'Aaron Fox, the 6-time All-Star, you're going to be going, they just can't have him on the floor right now.
He's trash, bro. He's washed. He's washed. He's not worth $37 million a year. Which, see, the joke there is that's what they're going to eventually have to pay him if they want to keep him, and he makes the All-Star game all the time. It'll be like $37 million a year.
Worth it.
Willie Cauley-Stein had 4 steals in like the first 3 minutes of the game. It was amazing. It really was. I think he had 3 steals in the first like 6 possessions of the game. It was just silly. And he was doing alley-oops and stuff, too.
To Belly. Back to Bogey on the right wing. Moves on top. Takes the dribble into the paint. Sets up the alley-oop. There's the finish from Willie Cauley-Stein. Kings lead it 18-4.
Also,
Steely Cauley-Stein.
Willie Cauley-Mine.
Nice,
Thanks.
dude.
Right before that, though, here was a steal.
Jacks tries to feed a pass. It's broken up. Willie Cauley-Stein with a 3rd steal. Lead out pass. Buddy Hield. 2-hand flying flush. And that'll lead to a Phoenix timeout. David Yeager vigorously applauding the start by the Sacramento Kings. 3 steals by Willie Cauley-Stein, helping Sacramento to a 10-2 lead.
Okay, think about that.
A flying 2-handed flush. I've been there.
I've been there before. Especially when the wife comes home and I can hear her coming upstairs. Uh-oh, I forgot. I took a nap. Notice that what Gary Gerald said. I'm going to go back just a second here.
Was it Dave Yeager vigorously applauding the effort?
Sacramento to a 10-2 lead.
Although when he uses David, that's quite funny. Willie Cauley-Stein's 3rd steal helps lead Sacramento to a 10-2 lead. He had 3 steals, and the score was 10-2, and he's a center. That's just fantastic work by Willie Cauley-Stein.
That's bananas.
That was your Peckus Brothers moment of the game, by the way. Spectacular backyards you want. Boom. Beautiful Peckus Brothers patios and sunrooms available to you. Kyle, over there, what's that you see? Oh, my gosh. It's Peckus Brothers. This was a great win for the Kings because it was all in all wire to wire. Yeah, it got a little loose in that fourth quarter, but the Kings were never, ever, ever in any doubt of losing this game. You had guys in the starting lineup for the Suns. They're plus minus 19, 13, 15, 19, and 22. DeAndre Ayton had 10 points and 9 boards on 5 of 8 shooting and was rendered basically impotent the entire game. And I want to shout Willie Cauley-Stein out for that, who was fronting DeAndre Ayton. I also want to shout out the coaching staff. That's something that happens on the floor, and maybe we just kind of do a passing like, oh, DeAndre Ayton wasn't that great. Or even, oh, Willie Cauley-Stein played good defense on him. Let's go a step further. They obviously watched film, scouted, saw that DeAndre Ayton could be fronted, that he didn't have anything behind him that could assist him, and he doesn't have the ability to pass out of the situation if you double him. Plus, by the way, they can't enter the ball, maybe without their point guard, maybe without Devin Booker. They saw something that said, let's just deny him the ball. That's great coaching, that's great film work, and that's great execution by Willie Cauley-Stein. Bogdan Bogdanović had 14 points in 21 minutes. The Sacramento Kings had 7 guys in double figures. Buddy Hield led the way, in fact, was outscoring the Suns. I believe he outscored them in the first quarter alone, all by himself. 20 points on 7 of 13. And later on in the show, probably at 7, if not that, 7:35, yes, we'll talk about Harry Giles. That seems to be the number one topic with Kings fans other than the win. They want to know about Harry Giles. Once again, 13 points, 2 boards in 10 minutes on 4 of 5. I don't know what that per 36 is.
He was a minus 15, though. So
minus 12,
minus
Kyle.
12, so let's pump the brakes.
Justin Jackson was plus 26, and we talk about him too because we need to as well. I've got some numbers on Justin Jackson for you, but first let's go to the Ritz-Carlton Madson Sports Desk.
Well, were you watching the game at home last night?
I was.
Was it maybe a little bit chilly in your house?
Let me tell you, it really was. I had to get a blanket. Didn't like it.
Yeah, because then you might spill stuff on the blanket.
Yep.
You know what you need, Dave?
What? I'll have a lot of stuff.
You need to call Sierra Pacific to get up to $1,600 off a new Lennox furnace. Keep your home cozy and warm this winter. 800-551-3040 or SierraPacificHome.com.
Hey, who's that you need? Sierra Pacific. Yeah, thank you. When we get back, as I have in my notes here, Markelle Fultz diagnosed with a shoulder dealy bob. That's literally what I wrote, dealy bob, because I couldn't get into the whole thoracic thing. Remember the player for the Bills that yelled at the ref? There's a little bit more going on there now. The Raiders sign a running back that you may know from the Denver Broncos and Florida State's Kelvin Benjamin.
Is that Terrell Davis?
You're going to have to wait and find out. It's coming up next right here on The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK. Scott Bear coming up at 8:05. We'll talk Raiders. A lot of Kings action coming up at 7 o'clock and 7:35, including your phone calls. And Kyle's Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Coors Light. Coming up at 8:35. You know, Kyle, I almost forgot this. Somebody on Twitter yesterday, which I really need. I'm going to quit Twitter soon, by the way, I think. I'm done. I'm going to quit. I'm going to start by going like a day without Twitter and see how that works out.
Sure, Dave.
Somebody called us, said the best thing they ever did was stop listening to us because we were a liberal morning show.
Big time.
Big time liberal morning show. And we were turning off, So in the interest of politics, I should start doing regular segments. This is from our friends over at PETA, and I want to thank Sean Salisbury for sending this to me.
Love Sean.
They tweeted out yesterday, words matter, and as our understanding of social justice evolves, our language evolves along with it. Here's how to remove speciesism from your daily conversations. Now, Kyle, listen.
Yes, this is good. I've seen this.
Instead of saying, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
What should I say instead?
Feed 2 birds with 1 skull.
Hang on.
This is serious. Stop. Instead of saying, you know what I need here? Yes. Instead of saying, kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Just a horrific phrase.
You should say, Feed 2 birds with 1 scone.
I have been trying to figure out, and I'm so thankful for PETA for this, because I've been trying to figure out how to take out such violent language.
That's right. Instead of
hey, how about we've been wanting to do those video shoot things. Why don't we just do one during the next segment? That way we can feed 2 birds with 1 scone.
Feed 2 birds with 1 scone, Kyle. Instead of saying, be the guinea pig,
Brandon,
be the test tube.
Hey, I like that we get to be the test tubes for this.
For the video cast.
Video
Brought to you by
cast.
Jiffy Lube and Saffron Public FC. Instead of saying beat a dead horse.
Stop. Don't do it.
Feed a fed horse. Stop feeding that fed horse, dude.
Hey, that Luka Doncic, Marvin Bagley thing, you're really feeding a fed horse. Hey, you know what's bad? Like, dude, now you're overfeeding a horse. That's bad, too.
Feed a fed horse. What does the government have to do with this? Because it's like a federal horse. Okay.
Yeah, got it.
Instead of saying bring home the bacon, say bring home the bagels.
Okay, listen. Okay, for real, hang on. Let's turn this on.
Yeah, I got it. I got you.
Okay, so if I'm expecting bacon, and if we're doing a breakfast potluck,
sure,
and you say, hey, I'm bringing the bacon, and I say, great, and you show up with bagels,
bring home the bagels, buddy. I make money.
You're dead to me. Okay, anyways.
I make money. I bring home the bagels. And finally, instead of saying take the bull by the horns, take the flower by the thorns.
How?
Who would want to do that?
That's painful.
Feed 2 birds with 1 scone. Be the test tube. Feed a fed horse. Bring home the bagels.
Bring home the bagels is the name of today's show.
Take the flower by the thorns. Surprised you didn't go with feed 2 birds with 1 scone.
It's just a really long title.
Gosh, I'm sorry. Listen, it's there's a part of me that respects these guys. Like, I respect anybody that has a belief system and they go for it. I really do. I don't think you're winning this battle, man.
No, that's a weird bone to pick.
Pick your.
Hang on.
Yeah,
no,
whoa, dude. We just went over this.
That's a weird scone to pick.
Right. That's a weird scone to thick. So there you go. Maybe be a little more sensitive today, and that's your notes from a very progressive morning show here on Sports 1140 KHK The Chive. Oh, see, there we go. Where do I want to go? The Raiders are signing C.J. Anderson. Remember when he was good for 20 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was very good. Isn't he the reason Brock Osweiler beat the Patriots?
I think he is. My guy and hero of the national championship, Kelvin Benjamin, has been cut by the Bills. It's very sad. It's very sad in the sense that Kelvin Benjamin, I hate when I see this stuff. And yes, he went to Florida State, and I'm biased. But I'm really biased. I'm more angry at him because I've followed him. I hate wasted talent.
Yeah.
And Kelvin Benjamin is chock full of amazing talent. But he's lazy. Doesn't have a work ethic.
Extremely lazy.
He takes plays off. He doesn't stay in shape. He balloons up. He doesn't run his routes.
He has the lowest catch rate, which is like on balls thrown to you, what percentage of them do you catch?
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes that's an overthrown ball or an underthrown ball or whatever. But he has the lowest catch rate in the league and the lowest average separation in the league.
I was looking at these numbers. Oh, God, did he already get removed? Oh, Robert Foster's on there. I was looking, as you just said, at those numbers, the how many times he's been thrown to versus catches. And as we go to break, his rookie year was his best year, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. He caught 73 balls out of 146 thrown.
50%.
Next year, 63 of 118, 16 of 27, 32 of 51. Lifetime, he is 207 catches on 404 targets.
Yikes.
As you said, Bills haven't exactly had great quarterbacks, but he also played for Carolina, who had Cam Newton, who's better than anything the Bills have had. When we get back, your Sacramento Kings beat the Phoenix Suns. We'll give you our impressions from the game. They get 2 full days off before Cleveland. Want to talk about this road trip and also want to take a step back, look at not only the Kings' record, which Kyle got wrong on the rundown, so I had to correct him this morning, but also looking at how amazing it is that they have this record. We'll give you a little background on their schedule right here on The Drive, Sports 1140 KHTK.